Across Australia, New Zealand and the South Pacific, this is the week's Adventist News in Focus.
Hello, it's great that you could join us for this week's news. I'm Sabbath-keeping. A US Supreme Court decision has ruled that laws limiting marriage to heterosexual couples are unconstitutional. The ruling, which effectively legalised same-sex marriage throughout the United States, has prompted celebrations from gay rights activists. A number of church groups, however, have expressed their concern that just one vote in the 5-4 decision of the Supreme Court justices has trumped the democratic rights of the 31 states, whose elected representatives previously voted against same-sex marriage. Catholic, Baptist, Adventist and other church leaders say they'll continue to support biblical marriage. The next challenge for religious groups will be the level of legal protection for pastors, priests and others who, for reasons of conscience, do not want to participate in same-sex weddings. Pope Francis has continued to surprise supporters and critics alike, this time by making an historic personal apology to the descendants of Christians persecuted for centuries as heretics. Beginning in France in the 12th century, the Waldenses lived in voluntary poverty, believed in the priesthood of all believers, kept the seventh-day Sabbath, and evangelized using Bibles in their own language. The movement was nearly crushed by successive waves of persecution, but the Waldensian Church has continued to the present day. Attending a Waldensian church in Italy, Pope Francis asked forgiveness for the Catholic Church's unchristian and inhuman attitudes and behaviour, and upheld the unity of all those who believe in Jesus. In the final days before the Adventist Church faces a vote on the issue of women's ordination, one of the denomination's most prominent evangelists has spoken out in favour of maintaining the status quo. In a series of 2 videos, Doug Batchelor argues from the Bible and Adventist Church history why ordination should be reserved for men. He also points to the experience of 5 US churches which experienced decline after extending ordination to women pastors.
If history is any guide, voting in favor of women's ordination shattered the mission, theology, and unity of these major denominations.
Delegates of the Seventh-day Adventist Church from around the world are gathering this week in San Antonio, Texas, for the 5 yearly General Conference meetings. Television viewers in Papua New Guinea will soon be seeing gospel messages on free-to-air TV. A formal agreement has been struck between communications company Media New Guinea and the Seventh-day Adventist Church to set aside a time slot for spiritual and lifestyle programming every Saturday morning. Broadcasters say they're keen for other churches to make their contribution too.
Media New Guinea Limited believes that strengthening the work and mission of churches through television is a guaranteed way of reaching the masses with messages of life and messages of hope.
There's more news in the full half hour of Record in Focus, as well as these special features. The View from Canberra, Politics in Focus.
I'm not sure whether history is on the same-sex marriage side or the pro-traditional marriage side. I suspect actually it's on the side of traditional marriage.
Sue Rad shares the surprising benefits of turmeric.
Turmeric is totally anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, and this is one of the most important mechanisms to prevent in the brain if you want to slow down cognitive impairment.
And we meet Julia Legion, an amazing lady with a story that's not over yet.
And all of a sudden now you have a tiny opening with this slightly descended down. And it just went slowly down and down, down, and until it's penetrated into every single cell of my body.
Well, if those short grabs have piqued your interest, you might want to head to our website to see the full Record in Focus program. The address is, as always, record.net.au. And In Focus plays every week on the Australian Christian Channel and free-to-air on Digital 44 in Adelaide. If you're a Hope Channel viewer, though, you won't see In Focus at its usual time slot next week due to coverage of the General Conference meetings. Check your program guide for details. That's it from me for now. I'll see you next time on In Focus Adventist News. God bless.